Hello, everyone. Nubkeks here. Welcome to Nub Raids, where no, this is not a drill. This is real. It is happening. We have Predator and Alien collaborating with Raid Shadow Legends, an official collab with both of these iconic characters coming to the game. And it's starting. It's starting today. Yeah, it's starting today. We're gonna drive in. We've got a big info deck to break down everything. It's pretty crazy. I've been trying to wrap my head around this because I'm like, it, there's the weird. I will say right at the start for me, there's a definite weird element. I'm like, why are there aliens in my dark fantasy RPG? I mean, at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Like, it's okay, okay. Like, alien, he could definitely fit in. A xenomorph could definitely fit in, and Predator as well. Like, he's got the sword, the wrist blades. Like, I mean, yeah, he's got the laser gun and stuff on his shoulder, but still, it's not actually ludicrously far fetched. So I'm like, okay, let's take a look at the champs. Let's see if they're good, and then I'll see how I feel. But yeah, here we go, guys. And it's official. It's happening. I was expecting a slow week. Can I say that? I was like, it's gonna be a nice slow week. I prepped another couple of hour-long videos, and like it's a chill week. Yep, cool. Yep. Well, if yeah, the embargo is over, so don't worry about this. But there you go. They kept this super secret. Like I've only literally heard about it. So yeah. Whoever wins, Teleria loses. We're integrating the fearsome and revered Alien and Predator into the world of Raid Shadow Legends. And there's a hashtag if you like social media. So this again, guys, it starts today, the 24th of November, and it runs until the 24th of February. Here we go. We've got some cool artwork. Great. And here we can see some quick info. We're going to see their full kits. So just take a quick glance here. But what is important about this, here's me. I am the third part of it's the Alien and Alien versus Predator versus Nub movie. It's the new movie. That's why they're doing this. But now, how are you going to get them? One will be from a 14-day loyalty program. So logging in, you will get them for free. The other one is going to be from a champion pass and other in-game events and activities. So the champion pass, I think typically I think the last couple were like $50 to buy the champion. We'll talk about that more, but I mean that is coming over Black Friday. It's coming over Christmas, so yeah, it's a good timing for it, we shall say. The other in-game events and activities will be shard events, presumably to get Predator, who's going to be the champion pass one. Presumably the in-game events and activities will be like shard events to get him if you're not a spender, so that you'll still have a chance to get him. But he is a HP based damage dealer. We have an attack based damage dealer here in Xenomorph. So here we go. Loyalty program. During the Raid X Alien and Predator integration, all new and existing players will have a chance to obtain Xenomorph via the 14-day loyalty program, aka the Xenomorph Chase. Look, the key things about this, it starts today, the 24th of November. The enrollment date ends, even though this whole integration, this whole collaboration is going until the end of February. The chance to get Xenomorph for free, you have to start it by the 26th of December. That's really important. So I guess they'll do some shard events for Xenomorph as well, maybe in January and February. So you'd still have a chance to get him. But look, I mean, if you're watching this right now, obviously get him for free. Duh. But yeah, you have to start it by the 26th of January. The 26th of December. The Xenomorph Chase will still be there until the 8th of January if you have begun it. So it means, like, let's say you begin it on the 26th of December. If you try to begin on the 27th, it will be gone. You couldn't do it. But if you began on the 26th, even though someone new couldn't start this Xenomorph Chase, you'll still have a couple of weeks to finish it off. I don't think you'd be able to finish the whole thing within that time period. But yeah, there you go. Anyway, I mean, 99% of you are starting it today, so that's cool. And pretty standard stuff. You'll get the champion himself after 7 days. You'll get a 2-star perfect soul after 14. Then you'll go into phase 2, which is do some pretty easy daily tasks. Over a week or two, probably a couple of weeks, you will get ultimately his 3, 4, and then 5-star soul, as well as an avatar. So yeah, you're going to be getting Xenomorph and a 5-star soul for him for free, which is, Basically, this is going to mean for any early mid-game players, possibly even some late-game players, Xenomorph is very, very, very likely to become a core part of your team. Any of these 5-star soul champions have a chance. Now, some of them have been bad in the past. Let's just expect this one to be good, shall we? Oh, in fact, let's take a look right now. Let's go. Here we go. Let's zoom it in a bit. Xenomorph. There he is. So he is a dark elf, which is a little weird. Dark elves need some love. They are a bad faction overall. For faction wars hard, they're pretty tough. He'll combine well with, Vizix and Lydia, Mithrala when you get her too. That's nice. The free void legendaries over time in that faction. Looks cool. I mean, he looks more like a demon spawn in raid, I will say. I can maybe live with him being a dark elf. It's a little weird. He definitely looks, in raid terms, far more like a demon. But okay. Well, okay. Maybe there's some in-game lore that makes it make sense. But let's take a little look. Let's look at his kit and what is going on. Maybe I shouldn't cover the branding. Maybe I'll be sued by, I don't know, whoever owns Alien and Predator. Well, I guess maybe just the Alien guys would sue me for this one. We'll see. Tail Stab. Attacks one enemy. Puts a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. Puts 3 poison debuffs if this attack is critical. And puts Perfect Veil on this champ for 2 turns. It gets 30% damage from books as well. That is nuts. Right? For you think about a free login champion for a new player trying to progress on Demon Lord, even heck progressing early on in Chimera, progressing against Dragon Dungeon for the first time, loads of places in the game. You build this champ 100% crit rate, 3 poisons is nuts. Oh, that's so good. And for a lot of the Faction War bosses, pretty darn solid as well. Faction War hard especially. So yeah, it is legit. We've got a legit A1. Infestation, the A2, attacks one enemy. Before attacking, places a stun debuff and an infest debuff. This is a new debuff. We'll cover that in 1 second. On the target for 2 turns. They cannot be resisted if this champ's under Perfect Veil buffs. Puts True Fear on all other enemies for 1 turn. And this debuff also cannot be resisted if the champ's under Perfect Veil. And then passively revive the champion with half HP and half turn meter whenever an enemy under an infest debuff dies. You get 30% damage from books, and it goes from a 4 to a 3 turn cooldown. Hang on, let me zoom back out. I think the next slide, explains what infest is. Xenomorph's skill set will introduce a whole new effect, the infest debuff. Oh, now I'm confused because we've got buffs, debuffs, and effects. Now this isn't an effect as well. Who knows? The terminology. Whenever an enemy under an infest debuff dies, does pure damage to all other alive enemies. This pure damage is equal to 50% of the enemy's max HP who died while under the infest debuff. This pure damage cannot be critical. Pure damage dealt upon killing a boss or their minions cannot exceed more than 1% of their max HP. Pure damage is something we don't see very often. I think it should just bypass all defenses, so it will totally ignore defense. I think it will ignore ignore strengthen and stuff like that as well. I think it should just, it should basically just deal 50% of the enemy's max HP just directly. So in like wave content in arena, you kill a tanky champion with this and kaboom, you just blow up the entire enemy team. This sounds ludicrous. For bosses and minions, it's much weaker. It will still be useful, but it's not gonna like totally wreck things. And I mean, if you're killing the boss, are you all that excited about splashing damage to the minion? No, you just won pretty much anyway. So killing minions, you can do a little bit of splash damage to the boss, but it's not too crazy, I think. We'll see. We'll see how it actually works in practice. But yeah, that is super cool. Very, very cool. I will say, with Xenomorph, I'm not sure how often you're going to get to make use of the passive. But the active is now insane. So you stun the enemy. Infest on them is not going to help you deal any more damage or anything like that. But they are stunned for 2 turns, in fact. Yeah, they're stunned and infested for 2 turns. Which is really freaking good. And then if you kill them, boom, they explode and splash damage everywhere. So I guess because, if you place the infest, you do your turn. If Xenomorph then dies, if you have another damage dealer in the fight, because presumably you're probably targeting someone relatively high HP with this move. Probably. I don't know for sure, though. You know, if you've got a second damage dealer in the fight, if Xenomorph dies, because he's probably going to be very squishy, you could kill the target with Infest that he has placed with your other damage dealer. He'll come back to life, which is kind of nice. It does mean, like, again, it's the only champ in the game with this debuff. It's brand new. I imagine it's going to be very rare. That seems to be the thing these days, by the way, in Raid, is loads of new debuffs and nobody has them. Any other Infest champion will obviously combo extremely well with him. Like, especially if they ever put another Infest champion into Dark Elves, like Faction Wars, it's going to be ridiculous. So, cool. But yeah, you're also getting the AoE True Fear, which is really nice. He's obviously going to be very vulnerable to Polymorph, but Polymorph is nowhere near as common as it once was due to Wand of Submission and Pinpoint Set, etc. So yeah, especially Wand of Submission. Like, you just don't see Polymorph. I feel like Polymorph has really dropped out of the meta. It might come back a little bit as people start getting mythical relics and not using the wand quite as much. Or as people stop, go, maybe I don't need the Pinpoint Set because people, aren't using Polymorph as much. Yeah, we'll see. But that's cool. All right, Rip and Claw, A3, 4. That also goes to a 3-turn cooldown, 30% damage from books here as well. Attacks one enemy 2 times, does 15% more damage for each poison debuff on the target. Ooh, and puts Perfect Veil on this champion for 2 turns. So big single target nuke, hits really hard. He provides lots of poisons with his A1. I mean, if you do an ally attack, and this also provides his own Perfect Veil, which will enable his A2 to be irresistible. Let's say you do a team ally attack. He places 3 poisons because of the team ally attack. Then he comes in with the A3. He's dealing 45% more damage if he placed the 3 poisons. I do see that these moves here cannot be resisted. The Stun, Infest, and True Fear if he's Perfect Veil. His poisons can be resisted. What this is probably going to mean is this is really for high-end arena, like for enemies that are building like 500, 700, 900, maybe in some one of these days 1,000 resistance on a character. You'll still be able to place these debuffs on them. But for most content, like for bosses, like for Demon Lord Clan Boss, for Dragon Dungeon, wherever, you would want to be building enough accuracy to do this to enemies, and probably build enough accuracy on him to do it to damage dealers in arena who aren't building any resistance either. But yeah, okay, big single target nuke, simple, probably hits really hard, and gives himself Perfect Veil. Nice. Caustic Blood, whenever this champion is attacked, has a 25, that books to a 50% chance to place a poison debuff on the attacker. Oh, the debuff cannot be resisted or blocked if the attack is critical. Weird. If an enemy's under a poison debuff placed by this champion, decrease their defense by 20%. Holy moly. Okay. Wow. Yeah, all right, we put this all together. So 50-50 whenever he's attacked to place a poison. That's nice because it's going to up the damage of his A3, but suddenly his A1 and his A3 become ludicrous because of this part. Enemy under poison has 20% defense decrease. That is a huge damage boost. Huge to everywhere in the game. This guy is going to be, I can tell you right now, this guy is going to be Giga Chat. He's going to be top tier. I mean, especially for new players, this is an absolutely top tier login champion. He's single target damage, but he's going to help keep himself alive with a Perfect Veil against waves. He is going to rip through waves because of the Infest. He'll actually splash damage pretty well. So even though he's single target, he's actually kind of AoE against waves. And for bosses, he's going to be a massive single target damage dealer. That's going to be giving a huge damage boost to your whole team. That is crazy. It probably, by the way, I'm guessing it won't stack with things like Cruelty or like Newt's A3 can decrease defense, right, for longer term players. Like a new player is not going to have a high level Cruelty blessing. He's giving you like almost a maxed out one. That is insane. Wow. So yeah, he's a sick champion. Yep, he's really, really good. I don't even mind that it's a little weird that you're an alien and you're a dark elf, because holy moly. And he's going to have a 5-star blessing as well. Like, you think about a new player coming in with a 5-star brimstone, legendary blessing on this guy, and just pumping out the poisons, pumping out the direct damage. He is going to be a game changer for them. Very curious if other champs will get Infest as well. It's very strong. Okay. Now we come to Predator, the champion chase. During the raid X Alien and Predator integration, all players will also be able to obtain Predator via the champion pass. The pass comes in two forms. There's a basic pass, which is free. You can complete levels. You will get some standard rewards. These are some simple. I actually see here in the example screenshot that you do have a 6-star banner, some 4-star glyphs, and a feast. So it looks like they've improved the rewards a little bit, but the free version of the pass does not include the champion. Only the paid version does. The free version of the pass, you get the Predator avatar. So it's a little profile picture, which is, it's cool, but it's not the champion, yeah? The paid version of the pass, there's two versions. So number one, which is what 99% of you should do, is just buying the basic elite pass, which is probably, I would guess, around $50. I don't know. We'll see how much it ends up being. But around that, you will unlock the ability to open up all of these slots, but you have to complete like missions every day. You complete the challenges, same as a free player, to slowly rank up. So it'll take you, maybe it'll take a week or two to earn a couple of these every day, and then eventually you'll get Predator himself. And again, I see some 6-star speed glyphs in there. That's nice. I see there's going to be some mythical gear in there, instinct gear, which is really nice as well. So great. Okay. The other version of the pass is, I don't know, it's probably like $80 or $100 or something, which is just you automatically unlock everything. So it just, instead of doing the missions every day to collect them, you just get them instantly. It's like there's no point in doing that. Just wait a couple of weeks, unless you're rich. If you're rich, whatever, do whatever. Donate to number 8. I don't know, but yeah. There you go. That's how it works. The enrollment for this starts on the 24th of November. And it ends on the 23rd of January, but it continues then if you have begun the Champion Pass. It continues until the 24th of February. So we've got a long time. So again, as I said, this Champion Pass is going through Black Friday and it's going through Christmas. So there you go. If we assume it's $50, again, it's coming live today, so we'll see it today. And I will get him. I'll just do it. I'll buy the whole damn thing and I'll show you a showcase of this champion so you can see if it's worth it or not for you. Because content creator, I'm going to do the crazy thing that there's no real reason to do, because screw it. Why not? It makes the content for you guys. But yeah, $50 for a champion. So number one, I mean, it's very expensive. You could buy an entire video game for that. Perhaps several really stupidly good video games on Black Friday or Christmas sales and stuff. But at the same time, it's likely to be a really good way. Like if you're coming in and you say, guys, I've just started Raid Shadow Legends and I freaking, this is like, I love this game. This is exactly the game I want to play. I'm super digging it. I want to support the devs. Not something Plarium, my commenters often say. We like Plarium, we want to support. A bit of a hostile relationship there. But if you're like, I love the game, I want to support the devs. Is this a good way to spend $50 as a new player? We'll see the champion kit in a second. To be honest, likely it's going to have a huge impact and really help you out, to be fair. Unless he sucks, we'll see. But if it's a good champion, yeah, it's, spending $50 anywhere in the game, it's really hard to get anything much out of it. The game is notorious for being very expensive, and you don't get much for spending money. So yeah, we'll see. Let's take a, oh god, it's so much text. Holy moly. Hopefully you guys might be a little bit small. Let me zoom it in some more, actually. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Well, there he is, first of all. Handsome fellow. Oh, he's got a spear. Wait, he had a sword in the key art. Oh, it's on his back. Okay. I actually haven't seen Predator Badlands. I saw what was it called? Just Predator? The first, what do you call it? Like, not a remake, but the first reboot, I suppose. I've seen, obviously, I love the original Predator movies. I've seen the original Predator and Alien movies. I think I have seen one or two, maybe, of the Alien versus Predator. I think I've definitely seen at least one, but I don't remember which one. And I've seen, like, Prometheus, which is Alien. Oh, that was a bit weird. And I've seen not the newest Predator one, but one of the newer ones. And that it's pretty good. So, yeah, cool. Again, I think he does look like he could fit in Raid. He's a lizard man. Okay. I mean, yeah, sure, I can see it. He looks quite lizardy here. I haven't seen this newer one. So, I mean, he does have a weird lizardy face, right? But I haven't seen the newest movie, so I don't know. Maybe he fits in more. Again, like the newer reboots have been more like not sci-fi. It's been like crazy alien came to the past. I don't know what Badlands is about. So Yes, I shouldn't make stuff up, but certainly the other recent one was like he's fighting against people with spears and stuff. So yeah. All right, let's take a look. He's a legend. He's a force HP. And he's going to be a damage dealer. Wrist Blades. Attacks one enemy. Heals this champion by 30% of the damage dealt. Passively, whenever this champion successfully evades an enemy's skill and all of its accompanying effects, counterattacks with this skill. 30% damage from books. Okay, so we'll see what the damage ends up being. Bit of self-healing is nice. And he's probably going to hit pretty hard, so it'll be an okay heal. Evade is fairly unusual. See, it's going to be in his passive. We'll come back to it when it's passive, but evade, you basically completely avoid a move. It's like it just doesn't do anything to you. Evade is incredibly powerful. There are very few champions in the game, very few. And funny enough, they tend to be these free champions, like Loki, Michelangelo. Shredder was certainly not free. He's one of the other ones. There's very, very, very few, and it's very powerful when it works, but it typically has a low chance to activate. But we'll see. But obviously, counterattacking when you evade becomes extremely powerful. Smart Disc, his A2. 4 goes to a 3-turn cooldown, 20% damage from books. Attacks all enemies 2 times. After hitting the initially selected enemy, all other enemies will be hit in a random order. For the first hit, the damage received by the initially selected enemy will be increased by 75%. Each subsequent enemy hit following the initial hit receives 15% less bonus damage, down to a 15% damage bonus. And also destroys each enemy's max HP by 30% of the damage dealt, up to 50%. That's cool. Okay, so basically, a normal AoE attack, you pick a target, but it doesn't typically matter, and bam, you just hit everybody. And actually, funny enough, even a normal AoE attack goes down the team order. It actually does trigger the damage sort of one by one. This is going to be, you pick, let's say there's 4 people on the enemy team. I pick position number 3. They are the initial target. So they get hit for 175% damage, basically. Then it will pick one of the 3 remaining people and hit them for 150. No, 160. Then it'll pick one of the other 2 at random, hit them for 145. And then I've done this wrong somewhere. I've lost it along the way. I don't know. But yeah, oh no, I guess it can hit up to 5 or 6 enemies. Okay. But yeah, and it will keep going, and it will keep going down 15%. So it'll be sort of random who takes them. Like you can pick who takes the most damage, and then who of the other enemies takes the most damage will go down. And I guess if you're fighting something like the Spider Dungeon, where there's like 11 enemies, it will cap out 150. Kind of weirdly, it caps at 115% bonus damage. There's always a little bit of bonus damage. I don't know. If there's always a bonus, is it actually a bonus? Probably technically. For the second hit, the damage received by the initially selected enemy. Okay, then there's a second hit. It's a 2-hitter. The damage received by the initially selected enemy increased by 15%. Then each subsequent enemy hit following the initial hit receives more bonus damage, up to 75. Okay, so you do the AoE. The first person you target takes a big chunk of damage, the 175, and then it bounces around and it does less. Then it goes back to your first target and it hits them for the lowest amount of damage, and then it bounces around everyone doing even more. I guess it probably evens out in the end, and everyone. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't even out off the just at an initial read. It does sound like it sort of evens out. I mean, it's going to be fairly random, but it sort of evens out. So there's not necessarily a point apart from a bit of fun in it doing this, but you will get sometimes you'll hit an enemy twice for like 160%. You could hit the same enemy with a 160% bonus damage both times, depending. Each attack ignores 15% defense if this champion's under Veil or Perfect Veil. Wow. So again, but I mean, it's appropriate. Both he and the Xenomorph are depending on Veil. Cool. Ignoring 15% defense. Sounds like it will do good damage. We'll see how crazy the damage is. I'm not expecting it to be mega crazy, but it sounds like it should be good. HP nukers typically don't hit as hard as others because they have lots of HP. They're very difficult to kill. So he'll be difficult to kill. Perfect Veil gives you damage reduction. So does Veil. But less. They give you damage reduction from AoE attacks as well. Combi Stick Throw, his A3. 4 goes to a 3-turn cooldown, attacks one enemy. Before attacking places Hunter's Gaze debuff. First champion with this for 1 turn. Debuff cannot be resisted if this champion's under Veil or Perfect Veil. If this attack kills an enemy, puts block revive on the target, and a Hunter's Gaze debuff on a random alive enemy for 1 turn. That might not be too useful moving it around, but the block revive is super useful. The Hunter's Gaze debuff cannot be resisted if this champion's under Veil or Perfect Veil. If this attack does not kill an enemy, puts Perfect Veil on this champ for 2 turns, fills his turn meter by 50%. Well, that's a nice effect if you fail, but preferably you'll want to be killing them. Okay. So, you go in. Let's assume you do have Perfect Veil already. You do Hunter's Gaze that cannot be resisted before you attack. And if you kill the enemy, you block revive. Now, the Hunter's Gaze moves to somebody else. The reason I say that's probably not too impactful, by the way, is that after you've done this one, you're probably sitting there with no turn meter. And let's be real, the enemy's probably really high turn meter. So they'll probably just take a turn and the Hunter's Gaze will be gone. It's pretty unlikely, unless his pattern... fairly unlikely that he's going to make too much use of it, I would think. I brought this up here as well in-game. Hunter's Gaze in-game, this is what it does. So far, the only... this exists as a thing that the Chimera boss does to you. This is not something that any champion has had before, so this is new. Damage dealt to a champion under the Hunter's Gaze debuff cannot be decreased, blocked, redirected, or transferred. This applies to damage dealt directly by skills and not debuffs, passives, masteries, or blessings. Fine. So like any attacks, typical attacks, they can't be that. Now this is what's very important. Damage dealt to champions under Hunter's Gaze debuff ignore unkillable, block damage, increase defense, strengthen, ally protection, veil, perfect veil, and shield. Champions can still evade damage while under Hunter's Gaze. But yeah, you're basically ignoring almost every single defensive buff in the game. Almost all of them. So this will hit really hard. And yeah, it gives you a consistent way to hit through this. One thing, it doesn't go through Stone Skin. But it goes through almost everything else that's super defensive. So yeah, that's cool. Oh, I brought up the wrong thing. This one. Okay. Yautja Cloak. At the start of each round, puts a perfect veil buff on this champion for 1 turn. Before this champion takes a turn, also has an initial 50%... Oh, hang on. Before this champion takes a turn, has an initial 50% chance to evade an enemy skill and all of its accompanying effects. This initial chance reduces to 0% after this champion's first turn in a round. Whenever this champion kills an enemy, grants this champion a 20% chance to evade enemy skills and accompanying effects. Stacks up to 60%. Hang on a minute. And then he's got 35% HP in Arena. Okay. So. Okay, you come into the fight. You've got Perfect Veil for a turn. And you've got a 50-50 to evade everything until you take a turn. So this is a champion. Again, I think about like a champion pass, new player. This champion doesn't need Stone Skin. He's got like a 50-50 to just dodge everything. And he's probably got lots of HP. And Perfect Veil, less damage from AoE. He's got a pretty reasonable chance to actually survive turn 1. A very reasonable chance to survive turn 1 no matter what. With that evade. That's pretty strong. And cool. And whenever you evade, you counterattack. He does an A1, which will heal him up. That's cool. So yeah, on turn 1 of the fight, if he's slow, you're fighting against a faster enemy team. You throw this guy in, he's evading stuff, he's just going to be counterattacking. He'd actually probably will still be really good in Stone Skin to ensure that he gets the counterattacks. But it's not super necessary, perhaps. Cool. Now, the Perfect Veil for 1 turn, that could be removed, but that Perfect Veil will set him up to have the irresistible Hunter's Gaze. And then that Hunter's Gaze sets him up to block revive. So he could come in and just instantly block revive someone straight away. Alternatively, you could set him up with this Perfect Veil, start the fight, come in, open with the A2, do lots of AoE damage, and you're going to ignore defense and hit pretty hard. One thing, he doesn't have another way. Apart from this, the only other way in his kit to get Perfect Veil back is if he fails to kill an enemy with his A3. So that's a bit weird. And it kind of sucks. So he's definitely going to do well if you pair him up with other Perfect Veil champions. Because if you give this guy Perfect Veil, his debuff becomes irresistible, which is nice. And it will give him ignore defense on his A2, which is really nice. So he does quite want to be paired up with other Perfect Veil champions, which is a little bit unusual. He does it for himself for the first turn, but after that, it's failing to kill people, which you don't super want to do, to be honest. So yeah, okay. Interesting. Now, the final line of the passive. Okay, like, couple of ways to interpret this. The powerful way, the one that is potentially absolutely bonkers, is that this is permanent. Whenever you kill an enemy, you get 20% chance to evade for the entire fight, up to 60%. That might be true. You imagine in Arena, this guy comes in, he starts killing a couple of people, and he has like a permanent 40% chance to evade, is actually completely bonkers. That is nuts. And it does read that way. Potentially, alternatively, it would just happen once or for one turn. I don't know. It sounds like it's permanent. So I'm not sure. We'll test him out today and we'll find out. But my God, if that's permanent, that is insane. Like, holy moly. He comes into Arena. You do like an AoE. If you kill one or two people, suddenly he's evading stuff left, right, and center. Whenever he's evading, he's counterattacking and healing. He could be a freaking monster. Ho, ho, ho. So, yeah, I'm not sure exactly how that works. Oh, thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so there we go. They're the two champions. They are both extremely good. That is my initial review. These both look extremely good. I think Xenomorph is the more clearly incredibly useful champion. This guy's going to be insanely strong for any newer players. I think he's going to be extremely strong for and that's one thing. If he's in demon spawn, there's not much there's very few poisoners in demons, very few. Whereas dark elf, there's quite a few poison champions. So poison champions, I guess it ups his damage actually, but he wants to be placing poison himself. But yeah, I think he's going to be so helpful to everyone, and you get him for free, 5-star soul for free. That is insane. Xenomorph is going to be absolutely cracked. The champion pass for the Predator, initial thought, $50 for the champion is obviously very expensive, but if you want to spend $50 on the game, it's likely to be a pretty effective way to spend that for an account. He looks to be very, very strong. I think the good news is he doesn't look to me, because he's going to struggle against Spirit Affinity because he's Force. He looks like he's going to be insane, especially for new players. I think for new players in particular, he's going to make Arena so much easier. And that's his massive selling point. I think for like super endgame stuff, I think he's very good. But an initial thought, he's not like that much more insane than many Void Legendaries and Mythicals and stuff like that. So yeah, which is probably, I think it's a good place to be. Like, I don't want the Champion Pass champions, like pure, I get he's not a pure paid champion. They're going to run shard events for him, but it's not so good if a limited time champion is the best champion in the game for Arena. But I do think he's going to be certainly very good and particularly brutal for new players. It's going to be a little bit unfortunate if you're a new player fighting against Predator in Arena. That's going to hurt like hell, to be honest with you. But hey, at least you got the Xenomorph for sure to soften the blow, because this guy's going to make you progress through the game so much faster. He looks insane. Guys, let me know, what do you think about these two characters? What do you think about this whole promotion and collaboration? Totally took, I just have to reiterate, this totally took me by surprise. I was like, what? I was expecting a non-collaboration event for Christmas. I mean, are Alien and Predator Christmas movies now? Maybe they're Christmas movies. I don't know. Maybe. Why not, right? If Die Hard's a Christmas movie, why not Alien and Predator? Yeah, this totally blindsided me. Wow. Out of nowhere. Completely crazy. Cool. And it obviously leaves, it's going to end, I think the new faction is teased to be dropping like around March. So it's definitely leaving us free for like free login champion and like big event around a new login. I mean, they could run another event on top of this maybe as well. But we'll see. We'll see. Who the heck knows, man? There we go. Alien and Predator, the Xenomorph and the Predator. They're both here. Give me your thoughts, and I'll see you next time. Well, I'll see you later today. It starts today. So I will buy Predator, and we'll test him out immediately. There we go. Thanks for watching, everyone. Catch you next time. Goodbye.